So this session is just about how I want to emphasize the things that have helped me with my journaling, especially for the newer traders and people that are trying to really refine a system and have maybe a little bit of information overload here. And you're like, well, I kind of like Isaac, I kind of like Austin, I kind of like a lot of what these guys are doing. How do I find something that fits my trading personality, like Joey said? Markups are the way to do that. So first thing, because Tradezella is a sponsor, if you don't have it, this QR code will give you a little discount. 10% off the monthly, 20% off the yearly. Yep, scan it, take it. Cancel it and then re-up it. Yep. Good? I can come back to it. So the goals, like I said, I want to teach you how to do a trade review quickly so it doesn't take time away from you hanging out with your family and doing fun stuff like we talked about yesterday. I want to explain to you why chart markups matter, and I'm going to share with you some of the stats. I was going to do this whole year and show you April to April, but then I was like, everything has changed since Trump took office in these last 3 months. So I was like, that doesn't even matter. I'm going to just show you this last month and show you what's working right now since I took 2 payouts. What is a chart markup? Tanner's like, I think you call it a chart markup. Whatever you want to call it, you want to make sure you're not cherry-picking winners. And that's what people tend to do in the beginning, which is why this slide is here. What does it mean to cherry-pick a winner? You can't just go around and say, well, if I put a VWAP on, look, there's the trade today. And then tomorrow you have an envelope from Isaac, and you're like, well, look, there's the trade today. You're cherry-picking too much. Have a consistent approach. Whether it's VWAP, envelopes, EMAs, it doesn't matter. These can be trades that you take and can be trades that you miss. People will start doing markups in the Blackshirt Club, and they'll be like, yeah, I only have 2 markups today. I only took 2 trades. And I want to punch them because I'm like, you're paying me for the coaching, and I can only get 2 markups out of you a day. What are we going to talk about? I need a lot of markups. You need a lot of markups. Your eyes need to see this over and over. And how many push-ups does it take to build good chest muscles? Is it 10? Is it 100? It's 10,000, and it's probably still not enough. Ideas can be marked up throughout the day and saved at the end of the day. Don't wait until 5, 6 o'clock when you're tired from work, your wife wants to talk to you, your son needs you, and then you need to sit there and do an hour of markups in hindsight. Do it as you trade. Have the ability to discern if you should be in a trade or not, and then still mark it up regardless. This trade fits my system, I'm going to take it, and I'm marking it up as I take it. This trade fits my system, but I'm not taking it because news is coming, but I'm going to mark it up, save the markup, note it on the news reaction, and study that. Make sense? This is a great example. I'm overviewing the entire day. This is a 1-minute chart. Opening range, blue line is New York VWAP, purple line is low of day VWAP. I'm using the entire day to tell myself the story. Chop for the first 90 minutes of the day, 54.90 holding a strong resistance, which was the open price of the day. 1, 2, 3 hits. Sellers really regained control here, clearly sending us lower. However, from the low of day, it acts as strong support. We wouldn't want to be short until this is broken and held. Sellers are done, buyers are back in as we take New York VWAP and finish the day higher. This is a simple annotation. If you don't take a trade that day, doing this will actually start to get you comfortable seeing what's happening in the market and reacting to it, not forecasting. Do we want to react or do we want to forecast? Louder. Thank you. Forecasting gets you broke, in trouble, a lot of bad things. React, react, react. Now, take this a step further. This markup then becomes a trade idea. See? Why is this a trade idea? Well, the way I trade with VWAP, when price holds VWAP, buyers are stepping back in. If buyers are stepping back in, what's the next thing I need to do? Find where my stop loss should go. I'm going to use structure here, and I'm going to use the previous note that I put right here. I would not want to be short until this low of day VWAP is broken. So I'm going to put my stop there, because if that low of day VWAP is broken, what would I want to be doing? Thank you. Good. We're getting there. I'd want to be short, so I want to be out of my long. Does that make sense? Say no if it doesn't. I'll slow down. You following me? Does this markup help me? Yes or no? Not really. Not until you really know how you see VWAP. Like me now, doing this every day for almost 10 years, I know what I'm seeing here. But this doesn't help me when I'm new and I need to review. This helps me when I'm new and I need to review. Do you understand? What's the difference? I'm explaining what I'm seeing. Short on the third break of New York VWAP after no break of 54.90. Boom, boom, boom. We're getting a lot of resistance there. Sellers are stepping in. Strong resistance up there. I'm going to use that as my stop. First take profit on a mid-range trade is, come on, boom. Take 3/4 off of the trade, trail the stop, and I can catch more. Probably stopped on the trail in here based on the way I trail on 2 minutes. Now, this goes from nothing, not helping me at all, meaning I look at this on Friday, it happened on Monday, and I have no idea what the fuck was going on. Now I actually can look at this and say, next time this presents, I might be able to take this trade. Make sense? How long do you think it took me to do this? Not even, dude. Literally not even. The more you do it, the faster you get. Thomas. Got to give you a shout out, buddy. Look at the text on this. NVIDIA is nearing opening range high here. Going to wait and see how we consolidate around the VWAP. This could be a gnarly signal from NVIDIA here. He's correlating NVIDIA while we're looking at an ES chart. He's trading to previous day VWAP. He's short here on the New York VWAP break. NVIDIA is at its New York VWAP, but high side. Does it find a bounce here? No, it ends up sliding through. 2 entries here, really nice short. I was calm, and that hurt me, being too content with my P&L. This is now taking the chart markup of the trade idea and actually studying yourself and saying, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? What am I seeing? Where am I hearing? Where's my focus going while I'm in the trade? Because then I can pinpoint, well, I was in the trade at 7:45, and by 8:15, in 30 minutes, he's already distracted, too calm, too complacent. That's the bandwidth. See how self-awareness leads to you understanding, okay, this is the moment where I start to go tilt. This is the moment where I'm not seeing things right. Why? You won't remember this by Friday, but when you do it every day and you can look back on it, and on the weekends you can review 5 of them every week, it really starts to make these patterns of mistakes that you're making stand out. And nobody wants to repeat mistakes. Agreed? Yes, Krista. Absolutely. Screenshot it. You can save right through TradingView, putting it in Tradezella every day in the daily report card. This probably takes Thomas no more time than he would give time to trading. He is doing this as he trades because he knows if he's doing trading decisions minute by minute, he's on tilt. No one in here should be doing minute-by-minute decisions, agreed? No one in here is a tick scalper, right? Right? So if we're not doing decisions minute by minute, when he takes this entry and it doesn't move for 3, 4, 5 minutes and it just sits there because this is a 1-minute chart, you don't think he can type this out and tell me why he took the trade? That's all it is. Take the trade. Be ready for it. Plan the trade. Be in it. And then as soon as you're in it, don't just sit there and go on TikTok. I'm serious. Don't just sit there and go on Bumble. Sit there and type out the ideas that fed the thesis. Randy? Oh, shit, it's me. This is Randy's markup. Not as much text, still very, very valuable. Short 1 micro on the break, below the New York VWAP. As much as I want to be bullish, the CVD on Bookmap is steadily dropping. Look at that. He wants, and he's aware of his bias, but he's reacting to the CVD. That's fucking good, right? Closed here as price breaks back into the opening range low, and it looks to hold it. 50K, top 1 future, straight to funded, plus 118. What entry is this that we talk about? Mid-range. Stop is a little tight, Randy. Where's target? Opening range low. It's a perfect trade. Second trade, he puts a low-a-day VWAP on. Sellers defend that blue New York VWAP, and he says, short 1 micro on the break of New York VWAP and the low-of-day VWAP again. I'm watching the CVD declining, telling me buyers are not here. Not only are the CVD telling you that, we can't even... Zach, could you click the computer for me? It's on sleep again. Yeah, just hit cancel. Oh, there we go. Not only here are we seeing the sellers step back in because buyers can't extend higher and make higher highs, but the CVD confirms it. And then he's out here at the initial balance low, trading into equal lows. So like to Tanner's point, is Tanner here? Tanner, this is a great example of what I'm talking about, buddy. First trade, flush it. Look at that is a flush. 1 red candle, 2 red candle, a 1-minute pause, 3, 4, 5, straight down to profit. At to the target. Take it. There's another trade coming. This most likely does not fall into the abyss. Not often. So then, second trade here, taking profit at the lows. Taking profit at the lows. And look, there's still more. What could he have done? Randy, you could have shorted it here. You could have got in here. There's other trades to take. But if this would have rebounded and he doesn't get anything out, then he's not following the system. And then you can come to these markups and look at them and be like, dude, how am I not, like I said about Tanner's trade, how am I not taking profit at those equal highs? I can see it. I know there's people going to step in there. When you do these markups and you see your mistakes a lot, it gets easier to stop doing it. Yeah. That's a super discretionary question. And if you're on stream sometimes, you'll see I take trades, Evan doesn't take the trade. Evan takes the trade, I don't take the trade. So it's super discretionary. Sometimes Bookmap has a huge area below and we'll just trade into it. I'm like, that's got to pull. So if the risk reward's a little shitty, I'll still take it because I feel like it's a higher probability play. Isn't that interesting? So I'll risk 10 and make 4 or 5, bro. But if I feel like it's a 90% hit because there's no orders above to pull us higher and I'm just going to drop that 5 points, 4 points, I'll take it. Here's Evan. Totally different style of a markup. I'm showing you these different markups. I don't want you to think it's just do it my way. Do it your way. But don't slack off and do nothing. That's what I'm saying. 15-minute, very bullish, open candle, looking like our pullback to create a higher low. Boom, he called it. Long on buyers back in above New York VWAP and holding above on NQ. So he's long on ES here. Stop loss at opening range low. This is a mid-range trade because it's right in the middle of the opening range. Out on the first break of opening range high. Does it go higher, everybody? Yeah. Does he care? No. Job is not to catch the whole move, right? Make money. Follow the system. And then here's that final one here. Now, let's talk about what's working right now. We talked about the payout. This was the stats that led into the payout. Anthony, we're going to talk about something you asked for. How do you take payouts? What's it look like on a daily basis for P&L? It looks a lot different for a lot of people, and it takes people sometimes a lot longer and sometimes a lot faster. This was the amount of time it took me to take the 5K payout. Green every day is probably the most important thing that I would say about this. What else do you notice about this? Louder. Not a lot of trades. Good words. Good words. What else do you notice about this? Flat days. Yep. No problem, not trading, not trading, not trading. What else? I have notes every day. That is true. I'm always documenting, doing my daily report cards. What did someone say over here? Win rate. I mean, it's perfect. As far as day win rate is very good. What else? There's something I see. No one's looking at the dollars? Are there any outsized gains here? Chuck said, what did you say? Well, the account started on the 14th. These days up here, I did not have this account. It started on the 14th. There's still no trade days. But look at the numbers, everybody. 600, 700, 1,100, 1,200, 500, 800, 1,100, 500. Are any of those really outsized? No. There's actually a few smaller than average in there, right? If I'm shooting for $1,000 a day, I actually missed a couple of days. And what did I do? Locked it out, walked away. Everybody following me? If y'all want to talk, I'll shut up. Okay. Here's the stats that we can go into now. So $6,600 profit, average daily trading volume 12 micros. That means some days I might throw a mini, some days I might throw 2, sometimes I might throw 15 micros. Just depends on where my stop loss is going to be and how much I want to risk on the trade. Average winning trade, $372. This is on a 150K account. Is that kind of surprising? You said, why? What are your thoughts? Which is funny because I think you give people $3,000 a daily drawdown and they think they can go crazy. I'm like, you give me $3,000, I'll stop if I make $600, $700, $800. I can take that $3K a daily drawdown and kind of make sure I come out positive more days than not. Great point. How about the average losing day? Minus 135. Small. Very small. Total no. Yes. Am I adjusting the number of contracts based? Absolutely. I do stop loss based on the strategy, and then I do the dollar amount. Yo, boys in the back. Easy. Thank you. The stop loss is always based on dollars, no matter what. For me, I'm going to go with this 3K of daily drawdown in Sim World. Maybe there's news coming. I might risk 500. If we have no news and we're ready to go, I'm probably risking about $1,000 a trade. But if you go back to the calendar, if I'm risking 1,000, that's a 0.6R, a 0.7R, a half an R, a 0.8R. You see what I'm saying? to this whole R multiple conversation. Also notice I'm locking out. If I risk 1,000 and I make 1,100 or 1,200, that's like over 1R by a little bit. I'm locking out. I'm done for the day on that account because I'm not giving that back because I know how close I am to a payout if I stack 3 or 4 of those. What else do you notice on these stats? Small losses. So to get to the payout, like we talked about yesterday, it's about eliminating the red days. No one cares about $730. Small. No one cares about $1,100. But when you stack this for the week, how's $5,000 in a week sound? I guess nobody wants to make money. Doesn't sound good to anybody. One guy goes, good. You guys must be fucking rich. Why are you here? The profit target for these accounts was lower. They changed the rules. The profit target is now $7,500. So you have $6,000 of drawdown to make $7,500. Not bad. There's other firms you have to make more. Some are huge. Yes. So this was an account on the older rules. So I didn't have to make as much. I didn't have to get to the 7,500, but I got close. I got 66. Max consecutive losing trades, 1. Max consecutive wins, 9. Only 3 losses. So keeping those losses small. Now talk about this, because I think this stands out the most to me. Why am I holding my losers 10 minutes longer than my winners? Because it's where I struggle still as a trader. Absolutely. I hope my losers turn around because I win at such a high percentage, I'm not used to losing. So when I'm in a trade that's losing, instead of me thinking, sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't think, yo, cut this, bro. Just take the small loss. I think, no, dude, you're probably right. You'd probably been right before, so it's going to turn around. And then you end up sitting in it longer, and that's where you get that bigger loss occasionally. This is what it looks like, which, again, to me is not very, sexy. It's not. It's just doing business. I'm risking my $1,000 usually a day, and I'm taking what the market gives me. Maybe this $600 day I had a call, and I'm done trading. I'm busy. I have other stuff I'm doing. I'm doing coaching calls with everybody. So if I'm going to be busy, I'm not going to keep trading. I'll take my money and I'll run. This is one of the trades that helped me get over the line. This was on Monday of last week. So 277, nothing crazy on this trade, but I did take another trade later in the day. Again, what would you call this as an entry? If you know the way that we trade. Mid-range. Am I late? Fuck yeah, I'm late, bro. If you were on stream this day, Evan knows I was late because he was already in it. So I'm late. Stop still goes at the right place, Anthony. 17 points. Where did I take profit? You can see my entry and exit here. 13.25. So I risked 17 to make sure the stop is at the level that I've tested and I know I want it to be. And I know I'm trading down into this opening range low and this overnight VWAP. Look at the risk reward of that. It's not that great. You know what pushed you over the line on here? Read the notes. Orders at 55.50 are the target down near overnight VWAP. So just like I said to you a minute ago, Anthony, if I have a high probability pull based on Bookmap and I'm a few minutes late and it screws I don't care. If it still feels like based on my study I'm going to get an 80 to 90% chance of winning, I don't need the 1-to-1 because I'm just going to trade it from this take of sellers stepping in on VWAP. I'm getting out here. And then I'm trailing 1 contract. 4 or 5 closed, and what happened? It took me. It tapped me at entry, right? Always. It never just keeps going. Does that make sense? Yes, questions. Later in the day, there's the sell-off that we just took. We bounce. Guess what Austin did? He bought it. Why? Buyer stepped back in. We took VWAP. I buy with a stop at the low. The low holds. Look at the management here, everybody. What did I do? Can you read those notes? Closed full. Does anyone know why? We take the long. Exactly. And it didn't work. That's why. You take what you could get, man. I should have been stopped. It could have 2-3 more points. I'm out. It gave me a gift. I will take a small loss. Remember the hierarchy of day trading we talked about? I will gladly thank the market for that small loss that will feel like nothing by the end of the day or the end of the week, rather than hold into the trade and hope that it just, oh, dude, it's coming back up. Now we're going to be fine. Well, how does that work out? It comes way lower. It's all the way lower. You can't even see that trade. You get what I'm saying? My exit was at 55.60. We're at 5,500. We're 60 points lower in a few hours, 2-3 hours. So you see how maximizing the trade, even if it means small red. How do you know when a trade is not working for you? Doing chart markups, studying your system, and knowing what winners should do. When you've marked up 100, you're starting to get it. When you do it every day for 2-3 years, you're at 600, 700 trades, you know what a winning trade should do. Winning trades should not instantly give up the VWAP that I used. to get into the trade. Does that make sense? Say no if it doesn't. I want to make it clear. Okay. So then I go to my workout. It's 1 o'clock. I work out from 12 to 1, 3 days a week. I had a long bias up here. Well, we're starting to flatten out. So Austin takes another little scalp, 54.97, 10-point stop, and I close it at even highs right here. Look at the flush. You see the flush? We talked about this with Tanner. If it's going to give me easy money, counter trend, you think I'm just going to hope it keeps going all the way to VWAP? Which it did. It did go higher. But I'm full out at those even lower highs. Lower highs in trend, I'm out here because this could be another lower high for a leg down. So notice, I'll take this trade. It's wrong. I'm wrong. I'll take a small loss, walk away, and come back and hit this. Now, this ends up being a beautiful day in the daily report card. We nail the short, crush it, even if we're late. Long, small loss, win, finish the day up $500. I was only up $277 by 10 o'clock in the morning, but I finished the day by staying focused up $500. Questions on this day? What is this? What kind of trade is this? Some people are paying attention. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. 54.11, out at 54.30. Beautiful rip. Long on the New York VWAP break before the opening range is fully set, Anthony. I like the stop at 5,400 for the opening range low. Why? Because it's a beautiful whole number of 5,400 and there's orders there. Bookmap also has orders at 54.25 and 54.20, but my target is near previous day New York VWAP at 30. Where do we go? 30. So here's 20, 25, and then we make our way up to 30. Does that make sense on this one? When it flushes, you don't let it turn around on you. So I'm full out of this trade right here. This thing kept going. I'm full out of it here because it did what I wanted it to do. It held my stop, and it went to the order blocks that I saw on Bookmap. We went over this trade already, but again, it's a beautiful mid-range trade. Stop at opening range low. After a massive candle tells me buyers are here, bro. Like, that type of a candle is extremely telling in the first 7-8 minutes of the market moving. Buyers are here. We wait. We see if they hold. This is a very important tip if you're going to take trades like this. I do not just buy on the VWAP, kind of like Tanner does. I wait for a 1-minute candle to turn. I need a little bit of bullish turn, and then I'm looking to get into the trade. Every time I've tried to get in, Evan laughs at me. I try to get in when it just hits the VWAP because I want to be like Tanner and get sick entry prices, and it fucking smokes me, bro. Like, just destroys me. Instant stop loss. But when I wait for the turn, that means buyers may be here. 2nd minute, buyers are here. 3rd minute, buyers are still holding. Buyers, out at target, even highs. Notice, target is 5,500. Again, another nice whole round number that I like. One off at 84, and the rest got stopped at 81. Did not fill to 5,500. Going back to our Bookmap conversation yesterday. Remember where we front run those orders sometimes at those big whole numbers? That's exactly what this trade was. Now, here's an example of a pre-market kind of bias that comes in, Anthony, why I'm going to trade before the opening range is set. This red VWAP is the VWAP from the tariff pause when Trump came out and we had the 600-point candle at 1 o'clock in the afternoon that day. So I throw a VWAP on there. We're sitting here overnight. We're sitting here pre-market. I know this thing, if buyers step in, it's a launch pad. So I take the trade before the opening range is set, and I'm out here at 52.60 because of Bookmap. So when I can overlay orders above me, Anthony, and I have this VWAP that I like as a base, I'm not going to wait for the opening range to be set to trade into that. Like, that move to me was happening before the opening range was set, so you have to take advantage. Does that make sense? Questions on that, trading before the opening range is set. I wouldn't recommend it every day. Sometimes the opening range like today is very choppy. But if you have something like a very key VWAP that was acting as support for days and nights, that's where you do want to maybe take a little more of a risk. How about this one? Previous day VWAP in light blue. Consolidation there once the opening range is set. Sellers step in here. I wanted to be short at 53.30, but I didn't want to fight the New York VWAP. So I waited for the New York VWAP to be broken so Christine wouldn't yell at me. Entry on a strong New York VWAP break. Nice strong break. Stop at the highs above the previous day New York VWAP right here, right? You want to go into those pins even. Full out at opening range low. This is a mid-range trade. I'm entering in the middle of the range. I'm on the right side of the VWAP, and I'm out at the bottom. Thoughts on that? Are you seeing how repetitive what I do is? Wins and losses. Is it starting to, if it's not repetitive, tell me. I want to make it repetitive. Do you see it? So let's play a game. What are you doing here, friends? Hands up if you're buying. You don't even know. Hands up if you like my stop loss. Okay, so these little hands, I don't know what that means. Hand up if you're taking the trade and you like the stop loss. Okay, hand up if you're not taking this trade. Why? Brian? It definitely could be a lower high. What else? Okay. What about the higher lows and higher highs that are forming here? Higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher low. It did. It took that pin. That's correct. Zach's going to fix us here. Thanks, buddy. Why? Beautiful. That's why he takes a couple paper cuts sometimes, I think. So buyers step in after being in control. So Brian, you're not wrong in what you said, buddy. But what I would say, if you look at this photo, the question to ask yourself, everybody, who has been in control more since market open, buyers or sellers? I like when you guys answer me. See, that felt really nice. Thank you. Buyers. So am I going to just assume that we're going to sell this and it's going to be a lower high? No. I want to establish a trend and trade it so it continues most likely. Trend is up. I'm going to react. Buyers are stepping in. I'm easily protected with a stop loss here. Where's my target? The previous high. This is probably my favorite trade because New York VWAP left the opening range. The probabilities of you trading the right direction when you have New York VWAP either above or below the opening range levels drastically increases. If you want to write that down, that's another one I don't say too often. Once the New York VWAP leaves the range, it really gives you a good bias for the rest of the day. So when the New York VWAP comes out, I'm looking for longs. Maybe down here like Tanner off previous day VWAP, but definitely here. This is when buyers are officially stepping back in. And where am I trading this to? Target, man. Like it's giving me the target at the high of day. I don't care if it goes higher. Okay, let's do another one. Tuesday, the 29th, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Who's taking this trade? Hands up if you're taking it. Oh, this one stumped everybody a little bit more. She's making a face like she thinks it's disgusting. One person put their hand up over here. Thomas is like, all right, if you make me, I'll take it. Some people want to sell it. How about now? Louder, Krista. Krista's selling it because it's holding under VWAP. She might want to see us move lower. Did you remember the okay? Okay. Okay. What else? Good point. No way. What was the question I asked on the last markup? Do you remember what I said? I know we're talking a lot. It's a lot of information. Does anybody remember what I said on the last markup? Thank you, Adam. Say it louder. Nope. Who's been in control? React. Don't forecast. Who's been in control? What direction does that mean we should trade? This is what I talk about when I say sometimes a VWAP will not be perfectly respected like that. This is still VWAP respect. You know why? I'd love to know if somebody can tell me why. No, because that's subjective. That can change when volatility comes in. It's not a take of VWAP because there are no lower highs forming underneath. Yes, maybe this, but the higher lows are here. What you should be thinking, because buyers have been in control, is there could be a higher low anywhere in here. Any of this could be a higher low for another trade back into that high a day. You made a great point, Krista, when you're like, I kind of want to short it because the highs look so good. That's what I'm talking about when everybody wants to just take the opposite way of the trend. The trend was up. Look at this photo. Buyers in control. Sellers tried to take control at 10:30. Fucked. New York VWAP way outside the range. Buyers are ripping it today. You can't sell this. You either stay flat or you trade with the VWAP. And you hold through this drawdown because your stop is at the structure appropriate. I'm a big believer in trying to see where the higher lows could be. If we have a low here and we have a clear 1, 2, 3 hits here, I want to see this respected. But to break the trend, you'd probably have to break this to me because I could see this do Whoops. I could see it do this. I know that that's possible to put that lower high in. So I'm willing to take this long only if I'm willing to put in the right stop and only if I'm willing to take that drawdown. Does that make sense a little bit? Okay, got another one. Last one. Make it count. What are you talking about? Are you long or short? Are you making money? That's good. What do we think of this? Okay, so I'm giving you a little bit more information here. Don't jump too quickly, Michael. This is an entire previous day. This is the open right here. We're 3 minutes in. There's those 3 minutes. Now we're sitting on this previous day VWAP. This was the previous day price action. What are we doing here? Are you taking this trade short? There's your trend. Trying to give you guys some information. Say it again. If you're guessing. So he likes it for longs. Yeah, Michael? I like that answer. What else? How do you feel now? What's the market telling you today? Because remember, here's our trend from yesterday. Here's our trend from the previous day, too. You can see finished lower. So when we're here now in the trade, what are we doing? If you weren't in yet, who's getting in now? Wow, only a few of you. Very interesting. Why are you resistant to that short? Even at this position. Even if I'm telling you to enter here on the take of the New York VWAP, why are you not willing to take this when the trend was lower? Previous day VWAP pointing in the direction of you to trade this thing lower. Resistance beautifully here on a double top, like Krista was just talking about. Why are we resistant to that? I'm curious. Are you afraid to lose? Why? Or are you afraid to be wrong? I don't think you're afraid to lose, James. Thank you. Who just said that? Dave Ford from Canada. Fuck yeah. Canada! Path of least resistance says buyers are really having a hard time today. Sellers here, sellers maybe here. Why aren't the buyers extending? Why am I getting pins here? Strong rejection. This doesn't surprise me. Look at that move. 46 points. Don't overcomplicate things. If previous day VWAP is pointing down, left to right on your screen, you're probably better off trading with that trend. If previous day VWAP is acting as support, you might want to give it a try and let it act as support. In fact, what I would say, and you'll see this often if you watch me trade, this is the last level that I would short it at. Because, like Luis asked, why is the stop loss there? Well, there's no levels up here, bro. I got nothing to do for a stop loss. So if this thing goes and takes out these highs, dude, I'm wrong. It's wrong. I got to get out of it. But if it holds, that previous day VWAP often will be your last level to short it or your last level to buy it as a counter trend move is expanding. The counter trend being this move up in the overall downtrend. So this small move up today, overall downtrend, this is the last place to short it. Because you wouldn't short it up here. As we expand higher, you would only be looking for longs if you're a VWAP trader. Questions on this one? What does this bar mean for the shorts? How would you interpret that yellow circled bar? Shorts are dead. Not even in trouble, Michael. They are dead. That is a very strong break of New York VWAP. So even as this move is a 46-point move, if you trail your stop, man, you're getting tapped out somewhere in here and in here. You're not getting all of that move. If you're trailing very aggressively, you're probably getting taken out down here on this first bounce up. And that's how you can maximize those moves. Questions on this? No? Thoughts about VWAP and mid-range trades in general? Any questions about that? Do you hate it? %70. Yep. So I think if you don't worry about 1R, you will find that you will win more trades. If you stop worrying about R multiple and just trade to win and respect market structure when we trade into highs, and because, like, let me give you an example, James. Let's say you risked 13, and this target at opening range low was 40, way further. I'm probably not taking it for 40, buddy. I'm probably taking it for half of that because it's even over 1R. But I'm not married to this idea that I have to get the 1R. So if I need to, I'll cut the trade sooner. What if Trump tweets something and I see it on Financial Juice and I think it's bullish and it starts popping? I have to react to that. You see what I'm saying? So to increase the win rate, I think you want to be more reactionary. Not forecasting. My entry is perfect. I'm getting my 1R. I know I can get that. That's a very aggressive stance in a trade. More thoughts, more questions? Yeah. Every time, basically. And it might be 15, but it gives me position size flexibility. Exactly. Yep. Did everybody hear what Nick said? Okay. Anthony, questions about the prop side of it? After this conference so far, who wants higher win rate? Who wants higher risk reward? Okay. Lawrence, what's your take on that? That's why I'm calling you out. So how do you find the middle ground? How do you find the middle ground between a high win rate and a decent risk reward and a decent R multiple kind of setup that fits your personality? I like everything he said. If you commit to a high R multiple, if it fits your personality, like Joey said, I think you can absolutely make it work. But I ran the 4x1, 100 meter. I'm fast in everything that I do, so I'm probably not going to be the guy that can hold a trade for 4-1. But I could definitely be a fast little scalper trading with VWAP. Like, it fits me. Going back to what I did in high school. See what I'm saying? So you got to know yourself. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. It's not even comparable, though, to be honest, buddy. Yeah, like, I can't talk to you about swing trade R multiple when we're talking about day trading. Okay? You can't do 1R. Yeah. Like, if you do a 50% win rate, you can't really do 1R. When you factor in commissions and fees, you cannot do 1R. You're bleeding out the account. For sure. I understand that. Sure. Hmm? Together. Yeah. That's a great point. Lawrence? Yeah. That is the only thing you got to work through. Yep. You cannot trade a high win rate strategy and take big max daily losses. Yep. That is the only thing I've seen for myself and for the guys I'm coaching. It's the only thing I've seen hold them back. On the coaching aspect of it, I think it is harder to teach people to sit through trades and win 4-to-1 trades and losing 40% of the time. I'm not somebody that can lose 40% of the time and feel like I'm still doing something correct. Who feels like they could lose 3 out of 10 and still think that they are doing the right thing? No, like I'm asking you to know yourself. Can you go in the hallway if you guys are going to talk? I can't think. If you're going to know yourself truly, think about this. If you lose 6 in a row, you don't think you're going to question the strategy a little bit? I question my marriage, question my life, bro. I might have made a lot of wrong decisions. So you see what I'm saying? Like Joey really said, I think the best thing of the panel this morning, your trading personality determines so much of how successful or not successful you are. I know myself. I just told you I'm fast, bro. Like I'll race your ass and beat your ass outside right now, bro. In these red shoes, suede shoes. I'm fast. I'm not going to swing trade. I suck at swing trading. The only swing trading I've done is like a week-long trade. Everything else I do in my retirement account, and I don't touch it. You just buy into. That's not even trading. It's investing. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me. So who here now, hearing this, who thinks they're more of a fast-paced, higher win rate person? Who thinks they're more of a slow-paced, maybe higher risk-reward person, right? You got to know yourself. There ain't no right or wrong. It's a great point, Lawrence. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do a lot more risk-reward stuff later today. Don't worry. Good on the markups, good on the VWAP stuff. Little flashcard action makes you really see you don't know the outcomes of any of these trades. Your job is to react. What is the market doing? That's my biggest tip for you. Cool?